welcoming our viewers to International Affairs being broadcasted from the SATV's Gulshan studio. My name is Shamsulam Pantho, bringing you the latest updates from around the world. Before I begin today's discussion, let me introduce my panel. Here in the studio, I have Colonel retired Mohammad Abdul Haq. He's, of course, a military and a security analyst. I welcome you onto the program. I'm happy to see you here today.
Thank you, Shantos. Thanks to SATV.
Thank you. As well, we will have Norman Floyd Barnes joining us from Washington District of Columbia. I want to begin with Norman. Here are some of the updates. Of course, Donald Trump, the U.S. president, has stated that I will do what I have to do if Iran does not stick to the deal. As well, we see that the U.S. is launching a monitoring mechanism to track fighting in Lebanon in real time. Of course, this would be added on to the powers of the CENTCOM, which has stated it has following calls by the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Lebanese President Joseph Aoun about solidifying the ceasefire and future talks, according to various officials. I want to pass it to Norman Floyd Barnes. A very good morning to you. What are some of the updates on your table? One of them from here is, of course, allowing the IAEA access to Iran's nuclear dominion on how to get rid of these particles. I want to pass it to Norman. A very good morning to you.
Greetings. Good morning from the we call the DMV. The information we have today is that the reports from Vice President Vance, who is en route back to the United States, indicated that the talks are progressing very well. There's again a lot of room for improvements and a lot of room for enhancements to the current MOU. One of the enhancements we're looking at is that the preliminary information I have is that the United States has agreed to release $12 billion in funding, assets funding back to Iran, conditional to the opening of the strait, and also conditional to that they will buy agricultural goods, agricultural goods from the United States in exchange for the release of the sanctions and the releasing of the funds. This is causing real problems for Israel. Israel is now viewing the United States as basically backstabbing them, creating deals with the enemy while they are fighting and creating new relationships with the enemy while they are still engaged in mortal combat. So I'm anticipating a more severe fracture of the relationship between the United States and Israel as a result of this ceasefire MOU ending up the war deal. It appears that the United States has already moved forward in terms of engaging Iran as a sovereign country and engaging them as a commercial business transactional partner. So we are moving forward as we see that Iran is basically gaining leverage. They have basically one of the other things is that the president of Iran is planning to meet with the leaders in Pakistan,
right,
to talk about relationships, to talk about forging new partnerships with Pakistan. Take note that Pakistan is one of the countries that actually the country that has made headrows in terms of ending this conflict for their own interests. We are now seeing that the possibility of Iran and Pakistan, which has nuclear weapons, are now aligning themselves with each other, and a possible mediator between the United States and Iran lies in with the relationship with Pakistan. So basically, they're using leverage, and they're using this opportunity to create a situation where they can get back in we call it, get back into the game of a global commerce and the game of business. While we're doing this, the Trump administration has asked Congress for another $80 billion to cover the cost of the war. This is the actual replenishing of weapons, ammunition, and other things, the actual cost of the war. So Congress is now looking at this very skeptical of funding this whole situation as we go through this details of the MOU, particularly with the 300 billion that's planned to go back to them. They are looking at this whole situation and saying, hey, this is now really costing us. This is really creating a problem. But the president is hell bent on creating a relationship, a business relationship, a deal with Iran that will allow the strait to open and create more commerce. The
Right.
word is also that the ships, the tankers, are ready to basically uh, let their doors open, and we call it oil gusher. Basically, the market is going to be flooded with oil as these ships come through, which allows also the new empty ships to come in and basically
Right.
replenish. So to start the whole world process of commerce and making money. So we're now looking at it again, a transactional period. It appears from this position of the United States government that they are striving to create a new world order. Well, let me say they're striving to participate in the new world order, which is including former, soon to be former enemies, as we say, while Israel is left out in the dock. They basically, the only thing they have is basically fighting Hezbollah, and it appears that the United States is creating a situation where they can separate themselves from that situation and save some face by creating commerce.
Right.
And of course, Iran, they are looking forward to anything they can do to increase their economy, to get back in good grace. And that's what the position with Pakistan is so important, that they're now trying to basically establish themselves as a sovereign country, a powerful country, and have influence and impact and participate in the new world order. So things are happening, things are changing, not to the likes of everyone. Yes, there's still rhetoric and talk about bombing and whatever, but for the most part, uh, it's a transactional issue right now. Exactly the details. The nuclear material is now being conceded that they're talking about basically allowing inspectors to come in to inspect it. And yeah, it appears that it will be something, a deal struck, but basically they will be allowed to maintain a certain amount for enrichment and for the what you call the quality of life issues, particularly now after talking with Pakistan. And so it's shaping up to a new day. And again, the outliner is Israel. Israel is not happy, and it appears that they will try or they will create a situation where they will be a disruptor. But unfortunately, like the vice president said, you can't kill your way into the future.
Right.
So they are creating a situation where they will be more and more isolated. The world is going to move forward, move on, including the United States, in this multipolar move, while Israel is talking about killing their way into it. And that's going to create a situation where they'll be isolated and alone.
Of course, very
Thank you.
interesting commentary made by Norman Floyd Barnes. Let us break down some of the details that was included in his statements. Of course, the top negotiator for Iran, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, says the agreement has been reached with the U.S. to release $12 billion in frozen Iranian funds out of more of a $300 billion compensation package we have been hearing earlier on. Alongside, there is important detail that the chief negotiator has arrived in Oman alongside a top diplomat Abbas Araghchi for talks on the new arrangements concerning the management of the Strait of Hormuz. Turning to the studio with Mohammed Abdul Haq, you were hearing Norman Floyd Barnes opening the discussion here today regarding various issues. Once again, the wounds are still not healed. They're very fresh, and the talks have ended in Switzerland. The Lake Lucerne summit has gone through with mediating nations of Qatar, Pakistan, and the rest being there in addressing the media in concerns of how this war can finally go to a close. As I was reading earlier today, there has been specific information which states that Israel, there was an authorization, the US has informed Israel that an authorization allowing Tel Aviv to operate without restriction in Lebanon has ended. That means that there is now going to be further restrictions for them to be there in the ground in Lebanon. I want to get a reaction from you, how you're seeing this, the world economy as well as the situation in the Middle East.
Thank you very much, Shanto. Very significant time world is passing now, as well as in the world, as well as in Bangladesh. Let me tell you, the Norman had been telling about the present situation regarding the MOU between America and Iran. Behind the scene, the only obstruction I consider that it is Israel, an unauthorized state in the world, who is creating all nuisance, all obstruction to establish peace and tranquility in the world. They do not want that. You see, ex-Prime Minister of Israeli militaries, he said that Israeli military's hand tight in Lebanon. He is signifying the attitude of those who has just gone beyond the negotiation table. They do not allow America to do anything good for the world, for the peace and tranquility to establish in the world. So let me tell you, last 48 hours, what has been happening throughout the world that is very significant regarding the reversal of US policy in Iran. As you said, billions of dollars, Norman said that US is going to release $12 billion frozen Iranian fund. Just look at this, is very significant. The economy of Iran, where they had been struggling since long time, they are struggling. Their economy is too weak because they cannot export their oil freely to other countries. So this is very significant, number one. Number two, and lastly, Iran is allowed to sell out their oil with full price to the world.
Yes.
Number three, Strait of Hormuz is going to be open for the world. These are the significant things, significant items, significant result of this outcome of this MOU. What is happening? You may have followed that reaction of Israeli people as well as the authority of Israel, Netanyahu, and we have heard that Donald Trump has abused Netanyahu on this matter, and they are continuously attacking and killing the innocent people of Lebanon, which is never expected. So in one side, Netanyahu and his administration may be popular in Israel, inside Israel. The Israelis, most of the Israelis are not the citizen of Israel. They have come from many other countries outside the countries, and they are leaving time to time and again coming back. They are not permanent citizens of Israel. Is he going to give importance to those citizens who are not permanent Israelis, or they are going to give importance to the opinion of the world people? What world want it? What is the reaction of the world people? So this is very significant. Now, let me tell you one thing about Iranian that nuclear work or the nuclear plant, that IAEA. That is, Iran lastly said, what they said, that it is subject to existing regulation. Subject to existing regulation. What is that? They have explained also that. So, but there has not been any direct statement from Iran on this subject, whether inspectors from the International Atomic Energy Agency will be led back into the country or not. It is yet to be decided. However, Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Ismail Baghai has said that Iran did not make any commitments regarding its nuclear program during the talks in Switzerland. Again, he noted that interaction with the IAEA would be under the existing regulation determined by Iran's parliament and Supreme National Authority. Very significant. They are in a strong foothold. They are not going to surrender. So, Iran is not denying the potential for future inspection, and eventually it is expected to happen. But some of the issues will be how such inspection are regulated, whether Iran's parliament and the council will approve them, and how to access some of these sites that were bombed. So these are the things at this moment very important, I tell you. And Iran is not going to anywhere surrender their own will or the popular support or what their people wants in their country. You see, whole world was against Iran once upon a time. But you see, at this moment, whole world is in favor of Iran. It is not a very significant thing in the world that Iran was vehemently opposed by the Middle East countries. And in the negotiation table, the arch rival, Qatar, is negotiating with Pakistan and Qatar in favor of Iran. And this is very significant. And I tell you one thing, though we people are always hating this Donald Trump in many cases, but you see, it is a Trump who could make it happen, and with his moral courage, with his significant individual strength, he could make it that negotiation with Iran. And it is a total defeat in the history of world. Even it is worse than the defeat in Vietnam. You said some of the intellectuals of America, they said that the defeat with this Iran is more significant than the defeat in other war or warfare or Vietnam. So these all are very significant things going to happen in this world, in the world within few days. If America agrees and Israeli agree not to attack Lebanon, it related only relation. Iran is not going to accept anything other than stop Israel to attack Lebanon. If they do not stop, because you know the good relationship and the deep-hearted relationship with Lebanon and Iran.
Right.
This is very significant. So if they do not stop killing the people of Lebanon mercilessly, Iran is not going to come back again in the negotiation table. America must ensure, that you have said, that they have already taken away that sanction, that without the permission of America, they cannot attack Lebanon. So America is not going to allow them. Even then, Israel is not the country to listen any good thing of anybody.
Anyone actually, in matter of fact, not just the United States. Excellent remarks by Abdul Haq. I also want to add on here, you mentioned Ismail Baghai. He is of course the spokesperson of the foreign ministry in Iran. He has said something that is taking to a breaking news coming from Al Jazeera. Let me also add on before I can go on a break. The foreign ministry spokesperson Baghai is stating that there is conclusive evidence that some regional countries participated in the US-Israeli war on Iran, and this could lead to further legal repercussions. Of course, he also stated that they will take whatever action is needed in this respect. Alongside, earlier on, it was mentioned that some agricultural goods were to be sold to Iran between a deal between the US and Iran. However, the country's central bank governor in Iran is stating that it is not obliged to purchase agricultural products from the United States under existing agreements. And this is where we lose away from the dialogue table, coming back to confrontations. One side will say one thing while the other side will deny. And that is how geopolitical issues are coming forth in today's modern world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take a short commercial break. Afterwards, we will also look at what is happening at 10 Downing Street. Do stay tuned on this very program.
For China to come to agreement,
they will face better projects.
With President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Panta.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV's screen,
really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
they will face better projects.
With President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
Focused world. Of course, in the studio, I have Mohammed Abdul Haq as well as Norman Floyd Barnes joining us from Washington, District of Columbia. I want to turn away to the United Kingdom and ask Norman this frank question. So many prime ministers in such a short time, in less than 10 years, ever since Brexit has happened in the United Kingdom, which has moved away the United Kingdom away from the European nations in the terms of commerce, in the terms of finance. I want to ask Norman Floyd Barnes how you see the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announcing his resignation in a very emotional televised statement just outside number 10 Downing Street after coming from mounting pressures. I want to ask you how you're feeling and where do you see politics from in the British lands and communities as well. Norman.
Yes, as we mentioned yesterday, prior to Starmer's resignation, we seeing now this multipolar world is moving forward. Starmer is the latest victim of an ongoing movement to address the issues of what's really happening in the world. The world is transitioning. The Starmer's administration, his party, the situation in Europe, the situation more important in the UK with Brexit and its participation, trade and commerce, everything's going on. We have the same situation here in the United States with the upcoming November poll, is that the people are not happy with the way the government is managing its business, internal affairs. jobs. People trying to basically every day, the prices are going up. You know, what you spend $20 on US dollars today, yesterday, you're now spending $80, and to the point where people cannot afford to live. What you're seeing now is that the prime minister has conceded to his party that he cannot provide the leadership is needed to move forward. They will elect, appoint, and put someone else in there to replace him. But this musical chair will continue until the core issues are addressed. You will see a new prime minister going in. It's like changing clothes. You know, you soil your pants and you put on a new pair of underwear. You still haven't addressed the problem. The problem is that there's no plan. What is the plan for the future? You're changing faces. The UK has come expert in changing places, faces, and leaders, but they are not addressing the issues. So this process will continue. You will get a new face in with the same old results. We'll be looking at this somewhere down the road. It may be 6 months. It may be, I don't think it'll be another 4 years. The issue is critical right now. The issue is the UK need to figure out exactly where do they fit in with the world, the multipolar world. They need to engage. They need the people involved. The people need to see exactly what's happening. What is the future? What's going on? And right now, there's no leadership, no one I've seen in the UK that has addressed this issue. And until this issue is addressed, you will still have this swapping out and changing of leaders, and people are not happy with what's going on. So change is happening. Another victim of the circumstances was going on. Someone else will try, someone else will fail, someone else will be replaced until the leaders and the government sit down and talk about the real issues. How are they going to live another day? How is the once powerful empire going to survive tomorrow, and how the people are going to deal with it. Right now, the immigration is a big issue. People coming in, people leaving. There's no safe place. There's no peace. There's no peace in the house until people figure out exactly what is their purpose and how they can contribute to the world order. Until then, the same thing is going to happen over and over again, and people will revolt. You will have riots, you will have protests, you will have changing of leadership until this thing is resolved, or it will implode and a new something will have to come out of this. I don't know what it's going to be, but the present and traditional system is no longer ready. And do they have the ability and equipment and the necessary resources to participate in a new world order?
Of course, important statements made by Norman Floyd Barnes regarding the world order, regarding the United Kingdom. In what we understand, that we've seen some of these issues once again coming back to the economy. As the economic woes rise at a decade-long high in the United Kingdom, I want to ask here in the studio with Mohammed Abdul Haq, you were hearing Norman on some of these issues. It often comes back to the economic stance the nation is going through. Keir Starmer was actually there in his seat for almost 2 years. You can compare him to some of his predecessors. Liz Truss only stayed there for a matter of 2 months. It is very unfortunate to stay that there's a new leader, but the same old problem is looming once again. So that is what I want to ask you. Even if you compare here in Bangladesh, new government's old problems and how to solve these problems. It is not just a problem here, it is a plague that I find coming up in various parts of the world. How would you value this kind of news coming about?
Thank you, Norman, and as well as to you, Santo. Very pertaining at this moment. There are many news in the world, but this is a very significant news. You see, 10 Downing Street is experiencing last 10 years, 7 prime minister in Downing. Do you understand that? 10 Downing Street for last 10 years, it is experiencing 7 prime minister within 10 years. It's not a joke.
Right.
This is only possible in UK, United Kingdom. Why, you know? This is a true democratic country. Even the own people of own party, they can vote against their own prime minister. I don't think anywhere in the world it is happening. In Bangladesh, this is not possible. If you vote against your against the ruling of your own party, you just lose your membership.
Party membership.
One party membership. So this is very significant to the world that UK is not going to die down for this reason. Rather, the Starmer has cleared the path for others to participate in another election, isn't it? It is very significant. And Keir Starmer, sometimes I say clear Starmer. Why, you know? He is a very clear man. He does not have any hidden agenda. He speaks, he talks, he says whatever he feels for the betterment of the country. He doesn't hesitate. I like him very much. I had been there in his country for some times last year, and I liked everything of his, every work of his. The economy, he has taken up the UK economy, you know. He has done many things for the UK, and he has stand against the bad intention of America in the Iran war. He stood against that.
He stood up against that, right.
He is the only prime minister, the first time ever in the history that UK prime minister stood against the will of America. What we have seen before. Many other prime ministers have seen that they did not say any word against the American policy, but this is the first time Keir Starmer has said. So I find a very significant learning or lesson for other countries as well. In Bangladesh, I said sometimes before that anybody going against the will of the prime minister, he loses his job. So what is the democracy? They have proved this. 10 Downing Street has proved it. Our prime minister also should take lesson out of it, because he had been there long 17 years. Long 17 years he stayed there. He must have learned that what is called democracy, what is called respect to the others' opinion. He must have learned this. Now he is visiting China by visiting 2 days in Malaysia. It is also very significant what he is going to bring for us, that we are looking for. So first of all, I give thanks to Starmer that he has resigned. With his boldness, with his just stubborn attitude, that has attracted.
He listened to the vibe of the people and the vibe of his Labour Party as well.
Labour Party as well.
Right.
Yes.
Important analysis by you as well. I want to draw a comparison with Norman in his last final few minutes coming to the United States. There are some court rulings regarding the Trump administration. In the recent federal court rulings, involvement of the administration, I can give you some of the commentary made. It's up on CNN Politics as well. The new administration began weaponizing what should not be weaponized, the health of all Americans. This is some of the comments that is coming about regarding the U.S. Similar terms, the president and what powers he has and how his ruling will actually dictate the following years and months as he will be in power. An American president is not a king, not even an elected one, and his power to remove federal officers and honest civil servants like the plaintiff is not absolute, but may be constrained in appropriate circumstances by Judge Beryl Howell. I just want to ask you, the midterms are approaching in November, and he is opening up the Middle East to commerce, which is important for his survival in the long run. Would you agree, Norman Floyd?
Yes, it's important because this is what he does. He makes deals, he do transactions, and his only way of dealing with domestic affairs, dealing with international affairs, is do what he does best: make deals, commerce. He understands that unless he stimulate the economy, we'll be in the same situation as UK. Yes, you can fight wars. We can bomb. We can do all these wonderful things. We can say, I'm going to investigate you. I can destroy you. I can build you, whatever. People will tolerate that to a certain point. But when the average person comes down to it, you're voting. You want me to vote. You want me to go along. You want to spend our money overseas supporting a war which we do not understand. And at the same time, you're taking food off of my table. I cannot survive. I can't pay the bills. I can't get health care. All these things has evolved from this tenure that has come out of the new administration and this plan. People are not seeing it. They are not getting it. They are not understanding why they have to bear the burden of these decisions. And trillionaires are being made, billionaires are being made, but the average person has now been getting in a situation of poverty, near poverty. They are losing. So what you're going to see in November is you're going to see a changing. The polls is going to be overwhelming, showing exactly the dissatisfaction of the people. And this is not just the Republicans, this is not just the Democrats. People are not happy the way the government is moving forward, and they're going to have to change or they're going to be replaced. And we are going to go through the same situation that other countries are looking at right now, a shift and a change. And we are not going to, the people are not going to be able to tolerate this anymore. And the current administration understands that they are working on borrowed time.
Right. Thanking Norman Floyd Barnes for your statements regarding the very similar situation with the United Kingdom as well. It may be taking place in the U.S. We see federal judges coming to the criticism of the Trump administration. 77 of these court documents does prove how the administration is fighting the power of law, the rule of law. With that being stated, it's time to take a short commercial break. Afterwards, we will analyze how our Prime Minister is strengthening our geopolitical positioning in South Asia as well as Southeast Asia. Do stay tuned on this program for more. International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Panta.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
Opening an open war conflict with them.
testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on Welcoming our viewers back to the last segment of International Affairs. We were, of course, talking about various issues stemming from politics to geopolitics and how the people versus the government centrum actually plays along. I want to, of course, turn to the studio with Mohammad Abdul Haq regarding our very own Prime Minister Tariq Rahman, who has held a historical bilateral meeting with Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim in Putrajaya during his first official state visit. Immediately afterwards, at the invitation of the Chinese Premier Li Qiang, Prime Minister of Bangladesh has landed in China and shall be in China until Friday. Of course, I want to ask some of the takeaways from his visit in these two vibrant economies, Malaysia and China, both who are Asian giants, and our Prime Minister holding his hand across these two amazing nations. Yeah. There are certain takeaways that we could definitely need to talk about. There is a huge amount of Chinese investment in Bangladesh, including roads and highways, as well as possible barrage developments up to the north, which may be discussed further between the Chinese counterparts and, of course, Bangladesh. I want to ask you how you're seeing this geopolitical positioning, very first trip of our Prime Minister abroad.
Thank you, Santo. Let me express my deep gratitude, thanks and regards to our Honorable Prime Minister first, that he has taken a very bold step to visit Malaysia and China. You see, in Bangladesh, the red eyes of many countries are there. Number one, America, USA, then India, our neighbor, big neighbor, powerful neighbor, an ultra-violist government, religious government, standing there against us all the time, every time, looking at eyes, red eyes to us.
They're bullies.
A bully. And at this situation, he has taken the venture to visit Malaysia first, very, very intelligent way of taking the decision. Then, staying 2 days in Malaysia, he has just today morning, he has maybe, or yesterday.
Yesterday late into the night.
Too, and welcomed by Chinese ambassador in Dhaka in the airport, okay?
Right.
As well as our ambassador there. Very significant. And one remarks by Anwar Ibrahim. In my early age, that when I was a student of class 9 or 10, Anwar Ibrahim visited Bangladesh. I was present at that meeting. I saw him as a leader, a student leader. I saw him. He addressed a huge student, and I found him a spiritual leader at that time, and he became the Prime Minister, and I have been following since morning. Many good news are coming from very good photographs with our Tariq Rahman,
right.
Zubaida Rahman. This has never happened before. So very significant. One comment of Anwar Ibrahim, Malaysian Prime Minister: we are looking at a comprehensive partnership in all fields. See, all fields, not limited to trade and investment, but extending to research, new science, new technology, semiconductors and artificial intelligence, as these are the challenges for our people in the future.
Right.
Very significant. And visionary leader has said the visionary word. And I do not know how much capacity our leaders have got to accept so many good things for the country, because ignoring the red eyes of many countries and accepting all those, including the ASEAN member, 11 members already there in ASEAN.
Right.
And number 12 members, if Bangladesh can become, that will be most significant thing for Bangladesh ever happen. I hope and pray that the successful visit in Malaysia, only for 2 days visit, but achievement is 200 years achievement, I say. If we can accept it and grasp it in a good manner, then visiting China, it is more significant than Malaysia.
Right.
Why, you know? First of all, as a military man, I understand that I had been hammering since beginning, whenever I talk, that the survival of Bangladesh in this context, in this subcontinent, only will depend with the good relationship with Pakistan and China. Suppose sometimes you are weak walking on the street, and there are so many odd situations. If you do not have good, strong friend with you, then you are gone. So same thing is happening at this moment in Bangladesh. All out war they have declared, India has declared against us, which is never acceptable. They do not like to accept Bangladesh as a sovereign country.
Right.
They do not understand what is the sovereignty. They want to get everything by themselves. They don't like to leave a single stone for others. It is not a good thing for a neighbor. And you see, India is the only country who does not have good relationship with any other neighbors. Any neighbor.
And there are not only territorial disputes across our borders as well. There is territorial disputes in northern sides of Kashmir, Nepal, and historical fighting with islands of the south in Sri Lanka. So you are very accurate in stating this issue.
You see, whatever narratives so far we had been hearing since last 55 years or before that, even I was born in during Pakistan in the year of 62. Right? So I had been going through all the narratives of India, which they had been telling us, and we used to believe it. Now we find that all are wrong things they had been telling against us, against India, which has been India telling us all are wrong against Pakistan. And at this moment, I find that Tariq Rahman has taken a correct decision for the survival, that definitely he is going to talk regarding defense pact with China, and we have long outstanding relationship with the China since long. I had been also trained in China, in the year of 1988. I say this thing to the audience that I was educated and I learned the missile system in China in 1988, and I implemented in Bangladesh Army a missile system, anti-tank guided missile. I was expert and I established this thing in Bangladesh. So China is the country which can help us in future also to stand against the Indian hegemony, and including Pakistan. If we have this good relation with these two countries, giant countries of the world, you may not find that Pakistan is a bigger in a area, location, or what is that called, a country like India, but they have got mighty power. They have defeated India.
They are geopolitically significant as of today as well.
Not only that, in this Iran-American war, it is the Pakistan who played the vital role to stop the war.
Right.
It is very significant. Now, name of Pakistan is here and there in everybody's mouth. So, I assume that next 4 days or 3 days in China, our Tariq Rahman with his spouse, they are going to do very good and significant achievement for Bangladesh. They are going to achieve it. If they come with this hand full with our all requirement, then we need not to seal at the back. We are looking forward how Bangladesh will be progressing, but provided the situation he can create in Bangladesh as well, which he will be coming sometimes later to discuss about the internal situation, and that is very significant as well as in other countries. In China there is good news, in Malaysia there is good news. If the good news does not exist in Bangladesh, how we can accommodate all those good things? Okay.
Excellent statements made by Colonel Retired Mohammad Abdul Haq. Thanking you so much for your contribution, patience and time providing international affairs here on the SATV studio. I also thank Norman Floyd Barnes for joining us, providing perspectives of Washington in a geopolitical arena. I want to finish today's program by stating some facts and figures, historical observances of this very day, 23rd of June. It is also seen as the establishment in 1948 by the International Olympic Committee of International Olympic Day. Alongside, we see that this very day is International Widows Day, significant and observed every year to honor the rights, dignity and struggles of millions of widows from around the world. Let us all pledge to end such poverty and build an inclusive and human society. With that being said, I want to end today's International Affairs. I will catch you all on tomorrow's program.